What's up, people of YouTube? My name is General Prime and welcome back to my channel. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification icon for more videos. You know, out of the thousands of potential reasons for us being here, it could very well be possible that one of them is that our planet is one gigantic educational institution, with time as the fee we pay, life as the teacher, and us humans as the students. And at the end of it all, the diploma we get handed to us by the Chancellor called death would be the experiences we would have gained over the course of our time spent here. Some of us would pass with flying colors, some would be valedictorians, and some would have gone through the entire process passively drunk and inexperienced. But at the end of it all, after all the lessons have been taught and the experiences have been gained, whether we learn or not, the Chancellor of Death would be there, ready to shake our hands, congratulate us for our time spent here, and then send us off to the great beyond of whatever might await us after here. And if there happens to be anything after here, you better hope that the lessons you gained in this life come in handy in the next. But let's not think of what could be waiting for us after our time here. That could be a topic for another day. Let's talk about the here and the now. For as long as I can remember, I've always been a solipsist, and I didn't even know it at the time. I used to think that I was the only one that exists, and the people around me and the events going on at any given time were figments of my imagination. In a way, I cultivated the habit of individualizing my experiences. I like to say that, good or bad, my case is usually different. It's been 3 decades so far, and there's still a lot about this school of life I am yet to learn. But retrospectively, I can't deny that I haven't picked up a few things from the many facets of life, and I would love to share them. Some of them might be no-brainers, and others might be personal observations. But here are 30 things I've learned in 30 years. Number 1. In every situation you find yourself in, you have to be yourself, because it feels like we are slowly losing our individuality. People just follow hive-minded opinions while wearing masks, just so they can fit into what they consider the norm. But it's always worth it to stand out, to be different, not in a pretentious way, but in a way that's real, true, and just. Number 2. I've learned that respect should be earned and not given, no matter how old one is or how generically successful they are, or what title they hold or the life form they belong to. Also, intelligence realistically isn't about the number of books one has read or the educational degrees they hold or how eloquent they sound. Knowledge, education, and intelligence are all different. They come in many forms, and just because someone isn't as conventionally educated as you are doesn't mean they aren't possibly competent in other aspects of life. Number 3, educate yourself. One of my many philosophies in life is that I try to know one thing about everything and everything about one thing. In our current time, we've been gifted with an entire universe's worth of information in our palms. There are more books than there will ever be humans, and so much about anything you can imagine to learn. We have passed a time where ignorance used to be bliss, and now it shouldn't be an excuse. Don't ever put yourself in a situation where you don't know who the Secretary of State is, what an astronomical unit is, or how to change a flat tire. So educate yourself, learn something, a skill, a craft, find your talent and show it to the world the best way you can. Number 4, know your place. Some people tend to be so out of touch with reality or so full of themselves they forget their place, whether in life in general or in the relationship they have with others. But knowing your place in this world will make it easier to understand yourself and then know how to interact with both your environment and the people you come in contact with. Try to be introspective, guys. Look before you leap. Number 5, not everyone will like you, and that's okay. Change is constant, and we all change at some point in our lives, sometimes for the better and other times for the worse. And there will always be people whose perception of you will be based solely on your outdated version. No matter what you do, there are people who, naturally, for reasons best known to them, will never like you. You don't have to make anything out of it because it's only natural. The same way also that there are people you will never find accommodating. Number 6, take care of yourself, and that includes your mind and your body. In our world of fat positivity and fat shaming and all the drama that comes with all of that, take care of yourself. Figure out what works for you and stick to it, regardless of if you're a vegan or a meat eater, a he, she, or non-binary. Take care of yourself. A little exercise every day adds up eventually. Brush and floss your teeth, and you don't need to break the bank to earn respect with the way you dress. This is supposed to be a no-brainer, but you'll be surprised how much people disregard their own selves. Number 7, there are 2 sayings. The early bird gets the fattest worm, and the patient dog eats the fattest bone. Now the problem with the second one is that after all the juiciest meats have been gobbled up by the fastest and hungriest dogs, the patient dog will be left with the bones, regardless of how fat they are. And I guess what I'm trying to say is, be opportunistic. Time waits for nobody, and time is our biggest asset. There will never be a perfect moment, and if you're waiting for that time to come, keep in mind that there could possibly be someone else taking the bull by the horn and doing what you're waiting for the perfect moment to do. Find the opportunity in everything. Now I know there are things in life that are worth waiting for, but try to read situations and know how to follow them up accordingly. Number 8, don't be a good guy, be a practical guy. Don't be a good king, be a useful king. Be the person that will be needed to get shit done, to hear the truth and to know the next move. Also, always know a guy. You don't necessarily have to be friends with everyone, but you can have a form of leverage over the potentially useful people you encounter, and that way they will always owe you a favor. Number 9, be frugal. I know we like to joke about how we're never taught how to do our taxes in school, but many people still go into debt, spending the little they have to impress people they will never meet. Social media, with the help of our capitalist free market society, has made it effortlessly easy for people to be wasteful and frivolous. Now, I'm not saying you should be stingy to yourself, but one thing Jay-Z said that I've always kept in mind is, if you can't buy it twice, then you can't afford it. Number 10, be aware. There are a lot of people who go about their lives living like drones or background characters, people who aren't really living but just existing, unaware and unconscious of themselves, and that's horrifyingly sad. So be aware of yourself and your surroundings. Learn how to observe and assess situations. Don't be a background character. It would be a damn shame if you're not the main character in your story. Number 11, learn to get out of your comfort zone. This might sound like a no-brainer, but we humans enjoy comfort. I often say that our sole purpose on earth is to achieve the highest form of comfort, and so far we have done quite well for ourselves. But it gets to a point where we get too comfortable, relaxed, and reluctant about change. But change is inevitable, and you can't grow and learn if you don't change. So making the decision to change by leaving your comfort zone might be scary at first, but it's usually worth it. Number 12, mind your damn business. It's not that difficult, folks. Just mind your business. Did you see a gay couple holding hands in public? Mind your damn business. Is someone enjoying their piece of steak? Mind your damn business. Is a particular mode of dressing or lifestyle against your religious beliefs but still not affecting you in any way? Mind your damn business. It's that simple. A lot of people have gotten in trouble for things they could have easily overlooked, but no. They chose instead to be nosy, and in this day and age of cancel culture, we all know how bad it can be for them. So just learn how to mind your damn business and you'll live long. Number 13, be logical and objective. People tend to let their emotions lead and get the best of them, but being too emotional can make you lose focus or miss points that could be made. You have to learn to see things for what they really are, to base your opinions on facts and not feelings, and to never let an opponent use your emotions against you. Cultivate a habit of being assertive and objective, and it will take you far. That's all I have to say about that. Be logical and be objective. Number 14, and this is very important, there is absolutely nothing wrong with saying I don't know. When asked a question that you have no immediate answer to, instead of embarrassing yourself by giving a reply you aren't sure of, just say you don't know, but you can look it up and find out what the answer is. Unless you have a gun pointed to your head, saying you don't know won't take anything away from you. Also, there is nothing wrong with asking. People let their pride and ego get the best of them, and so they refuse to ask questions or ask for help. And so we end up having a bunch of people wallowing in ignorance and bias with help and answer at their closest reach. Number 15, it's okay to make mistakes. I mean, we are naturally imperfect beings, and if we don't make mistakes, then how can we learn and progress? Mistakes are part of us. Sure, some could be detrimental, but the point is, we learn. Another thing is, in a world where everyone wants to be first, sometimes it's wise to hold back, observe, and see where others have failed, so you can learn from their mistakes, pick up on some cues they missed, and implement it in your life. Number 16, it's okay to be by yourself. What I'm trying to say is, it's better to be alone than with toxic and noisy people. This might not be for everyone because it's a personal lesson I've learned. After all the hustle and bustle and daily grind and noise, it's okay to come home and bask in the peace and quiet of soliloquy. There is absolutely nothing better than that. Number 17, I am not too keen on having role models because they are humans and humans always disappoint. I mean, there is a saying, never meet your role models, and there has to be a reason for that, right? Admiring someone's work isn't bad at all. I love Lovecraft's work, but the man was a stark racist bastard. The problem is people tend to use their admiration for someone based on their work to create a fantasized character around them and then end up getting disappointed when they eventually meet. So don't have role models. That shit is weird, man. Don't fucking do that. Number 18. Don't fucking have pets if you're not absolutely 100% sure you're capable of respecting and taking proper care of them. Having a pet is a conscious decision that comes with its ups and downs, and a lot of people don't seem to care about that. It's cruel to adopt a dog and then leave him out in the cold, in a cage, in his own filth, with little to no emotional care. Some people even go as far as claiming their pets are vegans. Don't impose your nutritional lifestyle on your pets. And dear white people, dogs are not vegans. You might think you have their best interest by doing that, but it only shows how obnoxious and out of touch with reality you might be. Secondly, birds have wings for flying and being free. They are not meant to be locked in cages. Make of that what you will. Number 19. In our present world of men-hating, colored-haired, bitter feminists and red-pilled men going their own way movements, and everyone casually hooking up and refusing to invest themselves in someone else because they are scared of getting heartbreaks, understand that despite the increasing number of shallow individuals everywhere, there will most probably always be someone for you. What I'm trying to say is, don't be too afraid to fall in love, but first, you must understand it. Before you can comfortably claim to love someone else, you must first learn to immeasurably love yourself, not in a selfish, self-centered, douchey kind of way, but in a way where you understand yourself, you recognize your shortcomings, at the same time trying to improve them, and you are not toxic or difficult to be with. Obviously, it's possible to get hurt, but don't be deceived by people who can't get over their pain but turn it into bitterness and hate. Love is a beautiful thing and it should be experienced in one's lifetime. Number 20. It's okay to be an anti-hero. It's not practical or realistic to be nice or kind all the time just so you can be on everyone's good side. Sometimes, on very rare occasions, it's okay to be a bit of an asshole if it means getting shit done. I know everyone wants to seem like they are nice all the time, but that's turning us into deluded, triggered snowflakes that think everything in the world is all milk, honey, fun and glee. People like to think they are good until they find themselves in situations where being bad and truly evil has no consequence. So in our present world of false philanthropy and surface level acclaimed kind-hearted people, be an anti-hero. Be nice when you have to be, and on those rare occasions, be an entire elephant spot of an asshole. Trust me, it really works. Number 21, and this might be painful to hear, but you're going to lose people in your life. You're going to lose friends and family, either to death or because life leads you on different paths. It's going to hurt, it's going to suck, it's going to seem as if you will never recover from it, but eventually you will. Sometimes not fully, and that's okay. Inevitable, but okay, because that's just how life is. And so before that happens, it's advisable to create lasting and unforgettable moments that will be cherished and appreciated for a long time, because at the end of it all, that's really all that matters. And even though in time, they too will be forgotten, what matters is that at this point in time, we make those memories and keep them alive for as long as possible. Number 22, everyone's clock don't tick at the same time. I know that seeing people, especially on platforms like Instagram, looking picture perfect and seemingly living their best lives, having fun and looking successful can mess with one's mind, enough to make them think they are not doing enough or living up to their potential, which in turn causes depression. But I want you to understand that a lot of what we see online are not as real as we think, and some of them are just highlights of people's lives. You don't have to rush into what you're not ready for just because your friends who are ready are doing it, or because you're under pressure from people who are expectant of you. It never goes well and you end up regretting such decisions. Number 23, don't work hard, work smart. There are people who like stressing themselves and also bragging about how they spend late hours at their workplace just so they can be perceived by others as hardworking. That's dumb, in my opinion. If there's anything the COVID-19 pandemic has taught us, it's that corporations don't care about us and you can get dropped at any time without question. So don't be a hard worker, be a smart worker. Always look for the easiest and most efficient way to get shit done and save yourself the stress. Hard work rarely pays, but smart work does, if you know what I mean. Number 24, always have a plan C. Life as we know it can be very unpredictable, and no matter how ready we think we are, there always seems to be a curveball. And so it is imperative to always plan ahead, always expect the worst and try as much as possible to compensate for it. And I know this might sound like a no-brainer, but never put all your eggs in one basket. Number 25, and this is very important, suicide is not the answer. and there will always be something to live for. Purpose takes time to be found and realized, but people tend to let their current situations cloud their judgments, and some of them end up offing themselves. Whatever it is you might be going through isn't new, and it shouldn't have to be enough to expel yourself from this school of life. So seek help. It doesn't necessarily have to be from a therapist, but a friend you can trust. Number 26. Never be too afraid to change your mind or opinion when presented with new information. In this time and age of everyone clamoring to be heard and their views heard, and everyone trying to speak their truth, whatever the fuck that means, there tends to be a lot of biased misinformation from very opinionated individuals, and so people get offended when they are called out for being wrong, which isn't smart. Changing your mind or views shouldn't be seen as weak or dumb. I mean, that's one of the reasons science has gone so far, because of the ability of scientists to change their minds when presented with new information. Also, there's no such thing as your truth. There is only the truth. Personalizing truth turns it into an opinion, and people should know that. Number 27. Never judge a book by its cover, and I'm sure you've heard this one before. And that's because a lot of the most vile and toxic individuals are the ones who claim to be religious. They tend to want everyone to live according to the standards of their beliefs, even when some of us do not share or hold the same beliefs. Not everyone who claims to believe in God is a good person, the same way that not every non-religious person is bad. Learn to find the potential in every situation. What I'm trying to say is, just because someone doesn't share your beliefs doesn't mean there can't be other things you can learn, gain, or use them for. Number 28. Never underestimate yourself. I don't mean this in the cliche, always believe in yourself bullshit that Hollywood feeds us, because life doesn't work that way. Sometimes we can do our very best, but nothing works out. But yet, what I'm trying to say is, you have no idea what you're capable of until the opportunity presents itself. So develop a habit of giving yourself the benefit of doubt and try not to constantly undermine yourself. One thing I like to say is, what you lack in strength compensates with brain power, and brain power is always better. Number 29. Progress is inevitable, just as change is constant. So I've learned that there's always room for improvement, because evolution is a process. You don't necessarily have to be perfect, but try to be better than you were yesterday. You don't have to wait for a new year to make resolutions for self-improvement. You can always start with things as little as making your bed every morning. Progress is inevitable, and you won't want to be left behind because you can't let go of the familiar and comfortable. Nostalgia isn't always a good thing, because sometimes it turns you into a relic of yourself. So embrace change and make sure you're never found on the opposite side of progress. And finally, number 30. I've learned that as long as there is life, there is hope. Things might not seem smooth at the moment, and in reality, there actually isn't any guarantee that they ever will. But to quote the great Martin Luther King Jr., if you can't fly, run. If you can't run, walk. If you can't walk, crawl. But whatever you do, keep moving. But that's it, guys. There's still a lot more I could have covered, but as time goes on and the more experiences I have and lessons I learn, I will. I hope you picked up a few things you may have found interesting from all I've said. So thanks for watching the video. Leave a like and comment if you enjoyed it. Let me know what your thoughts and opinions are. Subscribe if you're new, and I know you can't see me, but I'm raising a pint of beer to this milestone I've reached in my life, to many more years and even greater prospects. Cheers.